So you had the perfect plan, but when it came time to implement it, something went wrong and it threw you off your game. You were confused, you were angry, you had tons of emotions, and you didn't know what to do. So you crashed out. Today on the Legacy Lab, I'm going to tell you 3 things that you could do so that you don't crash out and you can still experience success in whatever situation you were in. I just had something happen to me just yesterday that I did not plan for, and it was totally out of my control. I'm going to give you 3 tips to be able to navigate these tough moments while you're in the moment. My name is Jordan Green-Ellis, your personal mentor. Welcome to the Legacy Lab. What's going on, y'all? This is Jordan Green-Ellis again, your personal mentor. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit subscribe and join the family. Go grab your pen, go grab a piece of paper, and let's take some notes on today's episode. Today, I really want to emphasize the idea of mastering your emotions. We talked about this a few weeks ago in the Legacy Lab, but I just had something happen to me just yesterday that I did not plan for, that I really had to have a lot of practice in doing so that I can respond the right way. Number 1, I want you to remember this, lock this in your mind. Your first note that you want to take is that you cannot control anyone, okay? You cannot control anyone's actions. Some people will do whatever they want to do, and that's okay. They have the right, they have the freedom to do whatever they want to do. And sometimes they may do things that may have a negative impact on you. And I'm not saying that what they did is okay, but I am saying that because you're a legacy leaguer, because you are a part of the Legacy Lab, because you have a destiny that you are desiring to achieve, you can't play by the same rules that everyone plays by. You have to have integrity. You have to uphold a standard that is uncommon. Even though they disrespect you, don't respond with disrespect. Even though they may do you wrong, you never repay evil with evil. Just yesterday, I had a speaking engagement at Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University down there in Tallahassee. Everywhere I go, I always hire a videographer to capture my speech. Now, for this particular instance, I ran the same play that I always do for my business, all right? Except for this time, there were some discrepancies between he and I, and we talked about it, and we worked it out. Until the morning of the event, I texted him to confirm everything. He responded to me saying that he would not do business with me. Now, the interesting thing about this situation is that he did not reach out to me to tell me that he didn't want to do business with me, okay? Even after we talked, even after we hashed it out, or so I thought, right? We had a conversation, and at the end of it, he told me that he was cool with what we agreed to, but in his heart, he really wasn't, okay? And so I reached out to him the day of, early in the morning, and 1 hour before my speech, he texts me and says, hey, I'm gonna pass on this opportunity. Now think about it. This is a large speaking engagement for me, okay? This is a great opportunity for my business and his as well. He was gonna get a nice paycheck and even a little bit more, right? But he didn't wanna do business with me. Now, this puts me in a stressful situation because I'm about to go on stage before hundreds of people at an institution that I have never spoken at before. This is my first time to make a good impression. And so this puts a lot of stress on me as the speaker, right? But here's the thing. After we had a quick conversation, he confirmed with me that he didn't want to work with me. I had a moment, but I did not let the moment have me. What I did was something that I want to teach you called deep breathing or combat breathing. When you are emotionally charged as a young man, you have to understand that you are not capable of thinking rationally in that moment. When you're angry, when you're upset, when you're sad, whatever the emotion is, you are not capable of thinking rationally. It's called sober judgment. The concept is called sobriety. A lot of times we associate the word sobriety with using substances or narcotics or things like that. But you can be drunk with anger. You can be drunk with sadness, therefore affecting your ability to make a sound decision. And so what you have to do is understand that you cannot make a rational decision until you are calm, until you're at ground zero. And one of the things that you can do is called combat breathing. And it's a simple practice that I want you to implement in your everyday routine. Don't try to start doing combat breathing as a practice to regulate your emotions while you're emotionally charged. Like if something happens to you, like what happened to me, don't try to start building that muscle in that moment. You have to do it when things aren't going crazy. So every day I want you to take 3 to 5 minutes to just take some deep breaths Inhale through your nose, and then exhale out of your mouth, okay? And the exhale should be longer than the inhale. Do it slow for 1 to 3 or 3 to 5 minutes, no less than 1 minute, okay? 3 to 5 minutes, aim for that every single day so that you have this built as a common practice of yours. Now, because I have some skin in the game and I've been doing this for a little while, I always come prepared. And this is your next step, especially when you're planning for something big and you have a big opportunity. Maybe it's a test and you know you got to bring some materials, or maybe you're depending on someone else to bring those materials for you. Do not solely depend on that person, because anything can happen. Now, I've learned this lesson the hard way over the years in running my business. And so while I was prepared to work with the videographer, I have my own equipment. And so I packed it in my bag just in case something happened that would have prevented the young man from coming to work with me on that particular speech. Okay? So here's the second key that you need to understand. You always have to be prepared no matter what. Now, the quality of what I got during the event is good, but it's not as good as it would have been. But the point is that I still have something. You cannot go without. After a certain point, you got to learn from the mistakes that you've made before. Maybe you haven't learned the lesson of being prepared, okay? You're going to learn it one time and you're never going to let it happen again. I will never go to another speech without having my own equipment. Even if someone does like what this young man did and didn't really communicate to me in a truthful way, even if there was something like he had an emergency, I would have still been able to capture what I needed to capture because I was prepared. Write this down. Prior proper planning prevents piss poor performance, okay? Prior proper planning prevents piss poor performance. You have to always make sure that your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. Now, there may be some things that you don't know to dot or cross, and that's okay. You'll learn along the way. But the things that you do know, don't get caught slipping. Always be prepared on the things that you know to expect. And the things that you don't know to expect, you just have to learn and apply it the next time. Don't get too caught up in those things that you don't know. But the things that you do know, hold yourself to a high standard and don't take any excuses from anyone else or from yourself. You can do this, okay? You may experience some painful situations like how I did yesterday. It's okay. It's a part of the journey. It's a part of the journey. You are not going to be able to evade tough situations. You gotta go through them. You gotta learn to manage the hard moments. You gotta learn to deal with stress, or stress will deal with you. Can you imagine if I were not prepared? If I had not had experiences like this before, how much it could have thrown me off my rocker? But I'm too good for this. I was born for this. I was made for this. And you, my friend, are born for something too. You were made for something too, and you can accomplish those things. But I want you to remember that sometimes things won't go as planned, and that's not an excuse not to fulfill your God-given destiny. You can still do it, and I want you to be prepared to handle the stress when it comes. Not if it comes, but when it comes. So remember, always do your due diligence to be prepared, okay? You want to be self-sufficient as much as possible. This isn't to say to be averse to working with people. This isn't to say that you should just be solely dependent on yourself. But I am saying that you should prepare when you are depending on someone to be able to accommodate an emergency or a situation like what I experienced. Always be ready to deal with whatever needs to come. Always be ready to handle a tough situation. And when they come, don't be surprised. Just walk right through it. Now, the third one is a bit of a wild card, and you may not always have to use this. In fact, you shouldn't always have to use this, but it's necessary in certain situations. Maybe you're facing something that's so egregious that it's causing you to really go off the handle. Okay? I want you to have someone that can hold you accountable, that can speak to a different perspective, because maybe there was a part that you had to play in the matter. Maybe you had something to do with what's happening right now, and you want to be held accountable, okay? And so I want you to have somebody on speed dial. Maybe you would actually be able to meet up with them physically. Maybe you would schedule a time to chop it up with them, just to talk to them, just so that you can get some wisdom. Now, this isn't one of the homies that's another fellow crash out. Okay, this is someone probably got a little bit of gray in their hair. I got some, you just can't see it. Okay, this is probably someone who's like a mentor, like a father figure, okay, or someone that you deeply respect and honor. Perhaps someone who's experienced what you are experiencing currently, and they can talk you off of the ledge that you're about to jump off, like you about to crash out. I need you to have someone who you can refer to, that you can reach out to, so that they can help you regulate. Now, I don't want you to be dependent on that person, but sometimes we need a little extra assistance, and that is okay. I don't want you to be solely dependent on that person because they have their own life, they have their own responsibilities, they have their own things to take care of, but I do want you to be open to it when it's necessary. Every single one of us has a spot where we cannot see, and we are going to need someone else to see where we cannot see. So I want to encourage you to have that mentor, that father figure, or that big brother, or that big sister, or someone that can speak to that blind spot so that you can have a more panoramic, a better perspective as to what's actually going on, because you have too much to lose. You have too much to risk. You have too much on the line, and I don't want you to waste it because you're emotionally charged. I want you to be regulated. I want you to make a sound decision. I want you to get the job done. Focus on what it is that you're supposed to accomplish. Focus on the next best thing. Shouts out to my high school baseball coach, Matt Foster. Baseball, if you don't know, is an immense game of failure. Those who are in the Hall of Fame fail 70% of the time. Yeah, that's right. You have a 300 batting average and you're going to the Hall of Fame. You're one of the best players to ever play the game, but that's 30% of the time. Baseball is an immense game of failure, and Coach Foster would always say, when there was an error, when you struck out looking, when you made a mistake, he would always scream it out loud so the whole park could hear you. Next best thing. So I'm asking you today, my friend, what's the next best thing that you could do when you're in a tough situation? It may require you to walk away. When I talked to the young man yesterday, I asked him, I said, hey, what would make this situation a win for you? How can we work this out? Remember, this is less than an hour before my speech. His response was this: I think I'm going to just pass on this opportunity. My response was, okay. And that was the end of it. I responded in a way that I did not feel. My feelings didn't lead me. And if your feelings always lead you, you'll always be led by them. And you'll get to the destination that you think you're supposed to be, and then you'll have to reroute because you'll realize that this wasn't what you signed up for. This wasn't what you were destined for. This wasn't what God put you on this earth for. Don't sell yourself short. Get control of your emotions so that you're not led by them. I want you to be in control. What you know is best to be in control so that you'll always be making sound decisions. You've got too much on the line, my friend. You got to leave a lasting legacy. As I say always, every single week, you have a great amount of potential on the inside of you, but I don't want it to stay inside. You have to be committed to the journey so that that potential can be poured out. Are you willing to take the journey? If you're willing, I want you to hit subscribe below and ring that bell so that you can get a new boost every single week here at the Legacy Lab. My name is Jordan Green-Ellis, your personal mentor, and it is an honor to serve you. Make sure you tune in again next week because I'm signing out, but you already know. I'll see you soon. Stay legendary.